Welcome into this Thursday edition of the Oxford Exxon podcast. Chase Parham, Neil McCready, Clark Ford studio. We'll talk a little baseball, take some of your questions, and whatever else strikes us over the next hour and change today. It did, for at least a moment, finally stop raining. We talked about the need for an arc yesterday. It rained on most of the night. However, today, cloudy, overcast. I'm sure it'll be back, but at the moment, it is not doing anything outside. So we have a reprieve from that. We're here in the studio together. And we'll be with you here for a little while on the podcast brought to you every day by the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Head on over, get the lunch specials, $5.69 for two sides bread, 32-ounce drinks, as well as the Speed Pass Plus app. Download it, use it. When you do that, you earn points. And when you earn points, you save money there with the Oxford Exxon and all Blue Sky locations in Mississippi. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are. Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that is hop into a Clark Ford today, 662-257-1900. Guest, join us on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford. Be a great place this weekend to hang out and watch Ole Miss, Arizona, other college baseball, MLB, NBA playoffs, whatever is happening. A lot of things happening in the world of sports. You can do that or just hang out, enjoy some live music, enjoy a burger, po' boy, shrimp, all the cocktails they have, the whole deal there at Rafters Music and Food. And then also Rafters on the Water open this weekend as well. Tonight, tomorrow opens at 5, and Saturday and Sunday opens at 11. Frozen daiquiris, margaritas, waterfront views, and all at Rafters Music and Food and Rafters on the Water.
So next media availability for Ole Miss baseball tonight. It's like 6:15, 6:30, something like that. So have whatever from that. I assume that Mike Bianca will name a starting pitcher tonight. My assumption is still that it will be Derek Diamond with Doug Nikhazy going game 2 or 3, depending on what's going on at that point for the Rebels. But we don't know that yet. They have not made a determination. But whatever he says, whatever Arizona coach Jay Johnson says, we'll bring that to you here a little later this evening. A Jay Johnson very lengthy interview with the Arizona media members is up on the site at rebelgrove.com. You can find that on the message board if you would like. He talks for about 15 minutes, mostly about his team, but a little about the Rebels as well as Arizona, the number 5 national seed, faces Ole Miss in the 2 out of 3 series this weekend. So that's kind of what's going on there. A lot of recruiting up on the site at rebelgrove.com. Neil's got a busy podcast day as well. I see he tweeted out the soft verbal a few minutes ago. It's out there. So plenty of things from rebelgrove.com and MPW Digital today. Braves Phillies on in the studio.
Phillies uniform is just spectacular.
What are they doing today? Normal?
They got the throwback powder blue with the kind of the maroon mixed in.
How often do they wear that?
Not often, but not often enough is the answer.
It's good. It's really
a fantastic suit.
When did they go from maroon to kind of red? Was it when they dropped the powder, or did they?
I guess so. Back in the day, this is how you can have this uniform in your arsenal and wear something
and decide
else.
that it's not what you want to do every day. But does anybody do the powder every day for a normal suit?
No,
they don't. It's all throwbacks.
Yeah,
I mean, unless you're counting like Toronto or something, that doesn't count.
I mean,
and they don't. So
I like Atlanta suit, but Atlanta suit pales in comparison to this today. This is just
the Braves road suit's fine.
Yeah, it's a good
Nothing
suit.
wrong with the Braves road suit.
It's a very good road suit. I like it quite a bit, as a matter of fact. But it's not.
Would this be better if it were red, not maroon? Does the maroon dull it out, or are you okay?
No, I'm perfectly good with this. There's not much I would change.
Okay. Is that a strike?
Yeah, it was a strike.
Yeah.
It was a strike.
Okay. Did he swing?
No, he looked at it.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. So anyway, getting into the podcast today. We can actually talk about some things other than weather-related things today because the town seems fairly normal. They got a little lucky, though. The lake at Terra almost flooded over and caused a levee to breach last night. That would have been a problem. That would have been an issue on that side of town.
Would have been an issue.
I don't think we had any of our Weather Channel brethren in town or anything, but that would have been a bit of a problem. I saw somebody put on Twitter they were removing 1,000 gallons per minute. Did I see that correctly?
I did not see that.
That seems like a ton. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe it's 100, but either way, a ton of water per minute there, getting it out of the lake over there on that side of town to do that. But anyway, we have some questions. We'll run through them a little bit today. I don't really have a whole lot else because they're going to play a baseball game tomorrow, and we'll see what happens at that point. Couple different things though. We screwed up a little bit, or I screwed up. It was not Neil's fault. It was mine. Tucson is 2 hours behind Ole Miss, so be aware of that for any time thing that we talk about for anything. They are 2 hours back. They don't observe daylight savings, but it's the time of year where that makes it 2, not 1. So it's 1:12 right now. 1:12 here right now. It is 11:12 there in Tucson. I looked that up. North Tampa Rebel. Sorry, I can't talk today, which is a problem if I'm doing a podcast. Says, would you rather live the rest of your life in Tucson or Omaha? It's a tougher one for Neil because I'm Tucson without even thinking about it. But in Omaha, Neil, you get seasons.
Yes.
You might get all the seasons in Omaha.
Yeah.
So you're Omaha, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't think I would enjoy desert life.
Do you not?
I don't. Scorpions, rattlesnakes.
Yeah, David Brandt's put a couple pictures of scorpions up on his Instagram over the months.
Well, David's told me about getting bit by the scorpion
Yeah.
when he first got there, and that might have been a sign. I mean, I've been to Arizona many times, not to Tucson, but I've been all over the other parts of Arizona. And no, I'm good. It's really hot. Like walking outside into a 115-degree oven does nothing for me. I like seasons. I like winter. Winter does not bother me.
There's no day, though, where I get up and go, would I rather it be snowing and frigid today, or I'd rather it be 85 and nice outside? I'd rather it be 85 and nice outside. 365 days a year.
Live in Mobile for 10 years and then see if that changes
But that's not Tucson. Nobody said that.
But it's oppressive. Well, it's 115.
Yeah, it's dry. Though.
Every day. Every day.
You can play golf in 115-degree heat.
Yeah, you could.
A little bit of news, though. The College Football Playoff Committee or working group or whatever the hell they're called, they are saying that a 12-team model is what they are recommending to whomever.
I think it's coming quickly.
The powers to be, whoever they are, the 12-team model is what's coming.
I think it's coming forthwith. Seems to be what the coaches are for, what everyone's generally for.
So how quickly can this be implemented?
Not this year, but next is what I thought
I
heard.
What it is?
Yeah.
I'm reading an AP story as you're talking, and I'm having a hard time figuring out exactly when it would be implemented. But, yeah, that's the gist I'm finding as well.
I think not this coming season, but the one after that.
More football, sure.
Sure. More meaningful football.
It's not changing who wins.
No, it's just more meaningful football. Got a chance for an upset. When 8 plays 1.
Sure.
Everybody will watch as opposed to...
And that would be fun.
We talked about this yesterday. Yeah, of course you're watching the national quarterfinals all day long. 8 teams. You're watching the wild card weekend to see if your team got hot at the end. Your team's the 12 seed, but they lost twice in September and haven't lost since. Yeah, you're watching that more than you're watching the Outback Bowl. Who watched the Outback Bowl? Indiana, Ole Miss.
SEC and Big Ten fans.
And gamblers.
Yeah.
But your casual football fan didn't necessarily watch that unless it just happened to be on.
Mm-hmm. Because what's the format on who gets in?
I don't know. I mean, it's all the league champs. The one thing it guarantees is that if you win your league, you're in the playoffs, and then
they're wild cards.
They're wild cards, and
I'm assuming a group of 5 or 2, right?
I'm assuming 1.
Okay.
The top group of 5 team would usually be in the top 12.
Sure. Yeah. That would get them in anyway.
So they get their moment in the sun.
Why are we talking about snakes in Oxford high up in the thread?
Because the cop. There's a picture on the Oxford Police Department of the police officer holding a snake that they had discovered.
Where?
In Oxford. I keep waiting for the flames.
I mean, like, was it in somebody's car? I
think it was in someone's home.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's a problem. Well, I mean, a lot of water. We've got a lot of stuff going on.
Things get
moved around a little bit.
Yeah.
You haven't had any issues here?
No, not yet.
I would know about it.
I don't jinx stuff like this.
When is the last time you had a snake here?
There was one out by the pool last year. Now,
Was there?
Well, I've killed 2 snakes in the pool already this year.
Oh, have you really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's worse over there, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Like there should be warnings over
But
there.
we're not that far from over there. I mean, I'm for building the wall personally, but
Let them have over there.
yeah, I mean,
What year was it you had it in the kitchen? That was pretty early on.
yeah,
That was like 2010, 11.
maybe even before that. Like
Did
maybe it was 09.
Did you step on it?
That was in the middle of the night.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was about 2010. The first one we ever had, the girls called me. I was at Ole Miss football practice, and they called me, and they were screaming. There was a snake in the. We had a babysitter because they were young, but I had to leave practice and come find the snake. Miller, the dog, was losing his mind, and
But no help.
no. I mean, no help.
What kind of snake was it in the kitchen in the dark that night? Was it a harmless one?
Chase, they're all water rattle cobras, and that's whatever. It was a dead snake shortly thereafter.
But it was actually like a copperhead or a cottonmouth or something, right?
Like that. Yeah, it was not.
I feel like it actually was venomous.
It was not a happy time.
It was not like you had a king snake that was a nice little cuddly snake living in
the whole let's just go back to bed. Nope, I'm up. Not a chance in hell I'm going back to sleep.
I'm on watch now.
I'm on watch now, yeah. I advocated arson. I mean, I totally forgive the Oxford Police Department if they said this neighborhood's not safe. Burn it down. I get it.
Don't evacuate because of the water. Evacuate because we found one snake.
Yeah, I mean, we're not worried about water. But snakes? When was the last time you saw a movie called Water on a Plane? You didn't. You saw snakes on the plane. You didn't say, oh, God, there's some water loose on the plane. No, there's snakes
on a plane
loose.
is a much scarier movie than like Hard Rain.
Yeah.
Getting asked about it in a thread a couple times, but never kill a black racer. Okay, Neil, never kill a black racer. Leave those alone.
Okay. Well, here's my deal with the black racer.
You
leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. That's like, I was someplace.
They're the ones, though, that if you chase them, they'll play chase with you back and forth, right?
I don't know. I've never.
If you run, he chases you, but if you chase him, won't he run away?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
Let's not.
Well, no, a rattler is not friendly. I don't care what they're.
They will warn you that you're in their neighborhood. I've had the people before that had like fried rattlesnake. Would you like Hell no. And they're like,
why would you eat it?
Why would I eat it?
Why would you not eat it?
Because if I bite a rattlesnake, my deal is I never bite a rattlesnake. It never bites me. We just have an agreement.
Okay.
I don't play those games.
Tempting fate. It's not your.
Nope.
I'm getting a couple questions in thread too. Pat Casey news. Yeah, I see where Kendall's reporting that yesterday. I have no idea if it's absolutely who they're hiring. I don't know if he is doing some recon work for the LSU program. I got nothing. I don't know.
That has trial balloon written all.
They had him in town last week. I know that. I know he has interviewed.
Well, let me say this. If they hire Pat Casey, they can stop with this, we really care about our image.
They're trying to argue that he's a safe hire because we're all misunderstood on the Heimlich thing. An LSU person told me that the other day, and frankly, I should have read the tea leaves better. I kind of ignored it and went on with my day. And now looking back, I should have gone, hold on, wait. And they're like, well, there was a little more of a misunderstanding than I think was put out at the time. And I was like,
he sexually assaulted a 6-year-old girl with the broomstick.
Well, I'm not defending Luke Heimlich, for God's sake.
I know you're not.
The argument is that he actually went through the justice system, did his penance, and since he was already on the roster, they did not remove him from the roster from that point when it got unsealed. That is the argument.
Did the coach know about it when he let the kid on the team?
I would certainly assume so, but I don't remember.
If he hadn't been their best pitcher on their team, would he have still been on the roster?
Do you get sued if you cut him over something that he has gone through the judicial system with?
I don't know. I think you can cut.
I'm just asking. I don't know.
I mean, Mike Bianco could walk up and cut Tim Elko today if he wanted to.
Yeah, sure. And now look,
And
the kid
Tim wouldn't be able to sue him.
And the kid never got sniffed in the draft. He never went. I think somebody told me he was pitching in the Mexican League at this point. In all seriousness, not a joke. Yeah, Pat Casey has that in his background within the last, 4 years, whenever that was.
My point is
I know what you mean. They're dealing with a Title IX situation.
Exactly. That's my point. Is you can't tell anybody who will listen, hey, we're really concerned about this Title IX thing. We don't like the way it looks. We're very upset about it, and we're going to go hire Pat Casey.
It feels like they're kicking the news out of the nest to see how it gets received. And if it is anywhere near palatable, maybe they are hiring him.
Kendall would likely not appreciate this.
Yeah.
But he has a reputation for he's very friendly to programs that he covers. Mm-hmm. And that, hey, I'll do you this favor. And he might not even realize he's doing a favor.
But it feels like a favor is being done.
It feels like a trial balloon is being floated to gauge the atmosphere.
Yeah. And they might hire Pat Casey. Not saying they're not going to hire Pat Casey. There appears to be no smoke right now on O'Sullivan at all. That feels like it is over.
I'm told it's over.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Casey's the devil but he's also old. He's been out of the game. Like, it just feels like a weird hire. He's been very damn successful now. He has 3 national titles.
Sure.
That's a gamble. Like,
I mean, how do you sit in a room? We do this all the time.
I know.
I mean, because I would be going, hey, well, hold up. How do we justify this? If I'm sitting in the room in Baton Rouge in the athletic building when we're talking about this, how? Are there no other options? We have a perennial top 10 college baseball program. And we're going to do this? Why?
Look, he's a damn good coach, but he's 62 and has never coached outside the state of Oregon in his life.
Yes, I don't know that he can put a recruiting staff together. Even if you somehow can get past all of the other, and I can't. So there.
Yeah, sure. And a lot of times, Pac-12 coaches have a hard time transitioning to other conferences. Still different, a lot of different ways.
Yeah, it's different down here.
It's a hell of a gamble. I mean, it is one hell of a gamble.
I mean, Schlossnagle is some degree of gamble, but he's in Texas, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, sure.
But this is who was the cat that was out at Fullerton, and he went to Tennessee? And
Dave Serrano.
Yeah.
He struggled.
He won big in Fullerton.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he was dominating.
Yeah. He sucked at Tennessee.
It was awful. He didn't forget how to coach baseball on the plane.
It's different. Different style of baseball, even. I mean, I don't think you can do the small ball dirtbag stuff in the South, and it works.
Did O'Sullivan release a statement? He did, didn't he?
Did he? I don't know. Did he?
It's the second person to say that today, so he must have.
What did he say?
I don't know. That's why I asked if he released a statement.
I mean, I guarantee it's not. Here it is. I got it. I'm pulling it up.
That's like when you tell somebody, hey, I've lost my keys, and they say, well, are they? Well, if I knew where they were, I wouldn't be asking where they were.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
I am the head coach of the University of Florida and remain fully committed to the Gators program. This is where I want to be, and I do not have interest in the head coach openings in any other schools. I look forward to continuing to build upon the success of this program experienced over the past 14 years with the goal of bringing Florida back to the College World Series as we pursue yet another national championship for Gator Nation. Oh, sorry, too long, didn't read. I didn't get the LSU job. Now I'm proceeding in Gainesville as we are talking.
I'm surprised he held on to that job.
Look, if you made me guess one way or the other, is he at LSU or is he nowhere? I would have been leaning more toward LSU than nowhere. So
might want to start winning next year.
Don't have another one of these deals. So yeah.
How about that as a throwaway line in that story? Oh, and by the way, one of the boys was a bat boy at Florida.
Yeah.
Friends with they didn't mention
at the times when it was written, it was like, all right, whatever. And
well, it just tells you that there was a fight inside a newsroom about we need to write about this, and there's no way. Well, they were friends, so let's include that.
Yeah.
Didn't include who else they were friends with.
And he got edited out later.
Yeah.
Of a later.
But only after it had been published.
Yeah, right. So.
Which tells me somebody threatened to sue.
Yeah. We'll get back to your questions in a second. First, tell you about Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. Underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. They're getting local underwriting that understands your market a leader in condo financing, the float down option, and more. You can find Jason at 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
Join Coach Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss Rebels in the Vault this season. Season packages start at $199. Can be purchased by visiting OleMissTix.com. The Oxford Park Commission's in the middle of registration for the 2021 fall soccer season at M-Trade Park. Leagues are based on birth years. Cost to play is $50, and they're offering discounts for multiple players from the same family. The season begins August the 16th. It runs through the month of September. The deadline to register is Sunday, June the 27th. Visit Oxford Park Commission for more details or to sign up. We are also brought to you by Lammons Fine Jewelry. Mentioned having a Soft Verbal podcast up on where you get – it's up on the message board. It's also up where you get podcasts. It's brought to you by Lammons Fine Jewelry. Lammons at 1126 North Lamar Boulevard in Oxford. It's been serving the Oxford area for 73 years. Engagement rings, wedding rings, watches, pearls, children's jewelry, collectibles, and more. Lammons is the gold standard in fine jewelry, so visit them at lammonsfinejewelry.com or call them at 662-234-2777. And we're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air. Comer Heating and Air is the name you can trust that brings more than 50 years of professional HVAC experience to Oxford, Tupelo, and the surrounding area. Get in touch with them, 662-801-1777. Make sure that you got all your heating and cooling needs taken care of. I mentioned Lammons a minute ago. Lammons sponsors our basketball show, not the recruiting show. College Corner sponsors our recruiting show. They're your one-stop Rebel Shop. 2 locations in the Jackson area in Ridgeland, next to Fleet Feet and Flowwood, next to Half Shell. If you don't live in Jackson, just go to collegecornerstore.com. Plus, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram.
Podcast is brought to you by G&M Pharmacy. They're on South Lamar in Oxford. Also, Tyson Drugs in Holly Springs. We talked about yesterday. Remind you again today that if you are a state or a school employee and your insurance provider is currently switched over to CVS Caremark as far as some different prescription cards. That is not CVS Pharmacy. You do not have to switch. You don't have to do anything differently. Your prescription cards are accepted at all local pharmacies, including G&M and Tyson Drugs. So ignore the logo up in the corner. It is very confusing. It looks just like the CVS Pharmacy logo, but it's not. It stands for something else. Your business as usual there with G&M. So find out more and all the ways they can help you, including their free delivery in the Oxford area, 662-236-2222. Also, Jaquez Jones has transferred to Kentucky. Not an over-shock there with John Sumrall in the house in Lexington.
Nope, no surprise. I think we said that a week ago.
Yeah, that was kind of where he was headed, and he still is actually headed there now. So,
yeah. I did a interview with the Kentucky rival site yesterday. They were asking about him.
Was it done then?
It must have been done.
Okay.
I think I saw Jaquez in the gym on Saturday. I should have spoken.
You didn't go like pepper him and ask him tons of stuff.
You know me.
Not really
the creep you out type.
Like staring at him while he's doing the bench press over the machine.
No. I'm the least stalkerish person that you'll probably ever meet.
You get uncomfortable if anybody even thought you were stalking.
Yeah, if
you would.
If you thought that I thought about stalking, I would be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a 0% chance like I would walk up to some celebrity or something. Just no chance.
DBRS 1 says if it's 110 in Tucson, but it's dry heat, it's similar to 75 to 80 in Mississippi. No, look, it's still incredibly hot. As much as I was downplaying it yesterday, I got a message from one of our subscribers in Arizona who's been a subscriber, good dude for a long time. He said he wanted to warn people that, hey, if you're in the stands, keep drinking, hydrate. Don't put it all on the fact that if you don't sweat, you're not hot. So, like, in all honesty, from a health standpoint, if you're going to the game, if you're in Tucson this weekend, drink water. Like, let's hydrate. Let's not be stupid.
Consistently drink water.
Yeah, because you're not sweating. Don't be stupid. So, just a little heads up there as that moves along. Do you expect the transfer portal to become as active in baseball as other sports? If so, you think Ole Miss try to utilize it more? I mean, they're obviously going to try to utilize it more. And look, here's what's going to happen. Maybe more so than even, I'd say more so than football or more so than basketball. But in a different way, you're going to have a lot more of a down movement in baseball when the guy doesn't get the position quickly or moves out. That could be an all-league kind of caliber player that moves down into your lower classifications or at least your smaller schools inside Division I. I think that's one of those deals. Like Trey LaFleur. I mean, it didn't work out for Ole Miss. He's in the transfer portal, but Trey's a talented kid. He's a talented kid that probably is a good enough kid to be D1 in both positions, pitching and hitting. So he's going to be a hell of an asset to somebody wherever he ends up at a lower spot there than in the SEC. It just didn't work out. So, yeah, look, people like John Gaddis who signs with Ole Miss over Texas and whomever else was in that, that's going to happen, and that's going to be your typical thing that we get tons of press clippings. But I think that the downward movement's interesting too. It's going to be look, they get paid a lot of money. I'm not sticking up for them. It's going to be a roster challenge, though, to figure out what that 35-man roster looks for every year, because you're going to have even more willingness for guys to move off that roster. Here's what it's going to do. You're going to see less development. Either a kid can play immediately or they can't, and the kids that can't, they're probably not going to redshirt or do those 2 or 3 years of trying to make it work. They're going to go play at Rice or Houston Baptist or something like that and move on with their day. So that's where you're going to see it, in my opinion, as this thing moves forward.
Give it 2 years, and you'll see the impact this has on the high school recruiting.
Taking different numbers of kids.
Across the boards.
Yeah.
You're just going to take fewer kids with the idea of, hey, you know what, we could develop this kid. Because I think in 2 years, now it's going to be, let him go to Middle Tennessee or Louisiana Tech or somewhere. And
we'll see what happens.
Let them develop him for 2 years. And if he's what I think he'll be, we'll
take a shot.
We'll go steal him. Maybe we'll do a trade, and we'll take the guy that we thought would be a star who isn't, and we'll process him down, and you can have our leftovers. And the kid that's going to pay for it is the high 3-star.
Because instead of taking 16 kids, they take 10 or 11 and go, we'll fix it somewhere else later.
Yeah, I mean, my guess is that, as the transfer portal gets going, are you going to sign 25? Are you going to leave some spots open?
How many going to sign 25?
How many spots are you going to leave open? 6, 7, 8?
I had it here too. Ole Miss not as affected from a downward movement standpoint as a lot of teams. Let me find it. It'll be just a second. I liked the tweet last night just so I could come back to it. Max Olson, he says, Power 5 programs, this is football obviously, have lost an average of 12 scholarship players to the portal in this year's cycle. Coaches would like to increase the 25-man signing limit so they could still take a decent number of high school kids and have leftover spots. We'll see if that gains any traction. That means more money. That's the problem with doing things like that, is somebody has to pay for it. All those schools have to agree that they're putting even more money into funding the scholarships, the cost of attendance, the whole deal from the standpoint of what a student-athlete costs at a school. So that's going to be a hard sell. But Ole Miss, on the lower end of how many transfer portal losses there have been, this is a list since October 1st of 2020. Ole Miss at 8 players have jumped in the transfer portal by this point. That's tied with Clemson, Baylor, Iowa, and Oklahoma State at 8. There are 2 teams at 7, 2 teams at 6, 3 teams at 5, and then Stanford has only had 1 player jump into the portal at this point for the dead last. On the other end of the spectrum,
Tennessee's number 1, right?
Tennessee's number 1, 25 currently for the Vols. Kansas and Michigan State 22, 20 Mississippi State and Missouri both at 20, Auburn and Vanderbilt at 19. So there's both ends of the spectrum there from a transfer portal standpoint. So
I expect it's going to move a lot over the course of the first few years of it, especially now that the whole interconference thing is allowed now. And then at some point it will settle in when kids realize that you get one turn at it.
That's
it's not like AAU where, hey, I don't like this club. I'm going to go to this club now. I'll go back to this club. No, you get one move.
Oh, look, that's the answer to this thing. And, I mean, look, kids can do whatever. Coaches can do whatever. Free country. The kids need to be smart about it.
Allegedly.
Well, fair. But the kids need to be smarter about it. Don't just jump in there, immediately and go, hey.
Of course.
Whatever. But,
yeah.
I mean, that's the key to this for me, is for kids that, because what you're going to see is a lot of casualties where they go, hey, there's nowhere to go. They're just stuck. It's over. I mean, they've got to really take a step down or do something differently. And that's the chance you take. I mean, it kind of is what it is at this point. So, I don't know. I know very few details about Ole Miss's deal with Teal Sports. It's something we probably need to find out and work on, to be honest. So that might be next week's project. But, yeah, I really have no idea. I know that –
Is that NLI stuff?
Yeah. I don't know exactly how it works. I saw where Georgia had several announcements coming with some of their dudes and local people yesterday.
Well, and there's a lot of talk. There was the hearings yesterday. There's a lot of talk about not restraining orders. What's the word I'm looking for?
Retainers?
No, where it goes to court to push things back to
like stays.
Yeah, like a stay, like where the NCAA does not love the idea of all these different states having different NLI rules. Why
I saw where Emmerich was bitching about that.
Yeah, so and it is a potential problem. So we'll see. That's going to be a big story when the calendar turns from June to July.
What's your take on it? NCAA have a point?
I mean, they do to a point, sure.
Enough of one to matter?
No, probably not. I've long thought guys should be able to cash in and women should be able to cash in on their name, image, and likeness. I think people are going to be surprised at how few people it ultimately truly impacts.
It's not going to be this huge wide berth that
I don't think
changes it for everyone.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Corey, game times are 6 and 7 o'clock Pacific. Yes, 8 and 9 here local, 6, 7 out there. So the two bookends are 1 hour earlier than the middle game. Still going to be really, really late. I mean, we're talking about a Zoom on Saturday night at 1 in the morning.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
Yay.
It'd be exciting.
My brain really works around 1:30 in the morning from a cognitive.
You're going to have to do the take a nap thing, whether you like it or not.
At what time?
Or else you won't be functional.
Just any time earlier in the day?
Like 4 o'clock, where you go to bed for a while.
Take a couple hours.
Take a few hours.
Otherwise, it's going to be hard. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, you're going to have to put some rules down in the house that, hey, from 4 to 8, I got to go to bed, whether you like it or not, because otherwise I'm not going to be functional.
Yeah.
And you're either covering the
Saturday night, you could be covering Omaha or out.
Yeah. I mean, you're either covering a huge win or an obituary.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like Tuesday night against Delta State in March. You're like, F it.
Yeah. 6:30 in the morning, same
thing.
Yeah,
whatever. Who cares? Right. Like in football, when you cover a late game, I make myself take a nap during the day.
Yeah. But see, here's the catch on that. At least back when we used to go to the games, and I get you're not like cheering, but there's a certain adrenaline that keeps you through for a little while.
Sure.
It's not as bad as, hey, I'm just sitting on the chair. And
no, I get it.
That's a whole different ball game. No, when you're at an event, even just from a press standpoint, you got to wind down a little bit. I mean, you're kind of amped for a little while.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's why we watch San Jose State playing Hawaii at 1 o'clock in the morning for 45 minutes while you pour one last cocktail and chill out.
Sure,
and
of
whatever,
course.
And then don't care who wins. Just got something on in front of you at that point. Let's see.
It's why media hate late games. It's what fans. I get why fans love late games. I get why media loves early games.
Hill Rep said, can you give us a prediction on the series this weekend? I think Ole Miss loses in 3 games.
Yeah, I got Arizona in 3.
I think they lose game 1, win game 2, lose game 3.
Yes,
that is my opinion.
I share the same prediction.
If they win game 1, then I think they're going to Omaha. I do not expect Doug Nikhazy to throw tomorrow night for sure. I think they will then decide whether to throw him in game 2 or game 3 based off win-loss at that point. So I think in some ways they're going to be like Diamond, TBA. But you know Doug's throwing one of them.
Yeah, of course.
Don't know which.
Yeah. If you lose, Doug has to throw Saturday. And if you win, you have a decision to make. And given how much he threw, I think you'd probably want to give him one more day of rest.
Well, if you're throwing Tyler out there, he's going to be more confident in a game 2 versus a game 3.
Of course.
Hey, go give it a shot.
Free shot.
Going tomorrow.
If you're up 1-0, it's a free shot.
Yeah.
Hey, go be yourself.
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen? You get shelled.
Yeah. All right. We'll play tomorrow.
Yeah. You literally have a mulligan. You know what they call it in golf? You have a mulligan in your.
Yeah.
So Go for the green.
Mm-hmm.
You can play it safe if you take your mulligan.
Yeah.
Look at me with the golf analogy.
There you
I'm
go.
pretty proud of myself.
Kind of pulled it off, too. Not bad at
No,
all.
it's exactly what you would do. It's what I would do if I'm them. I'd give him another day.
He also says, who would you start Friday? As long as Derek feels fine, I start Derek on Friday. Now, he's got to be healthy. He's got to feel good after throwing on Monday. I mean, I think today's practice is critical to go, hey, no, truth. How we feeling? What's up?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Let's not – we can start Tyler here. Like, what's up?
Of course, he threw a lot on Sunday.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, Tyler, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's throwing.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to be super fresh one way or the other.
You're just you're hunting outs. I mean, that's all this is about.
You're hunting outs and you're counting on your offense to do its thing.
At least one's going to have to bail them out.
Yeah, going to have to score some runs.
Yeah.
Like they did on Monday. I mean, they gave up 9 runs on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's not lose sight of that. It wasn't like Monday was a pitching masterpiece.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they gave up runs. 9 of them.
They just gutted it out.
And they got hits when they needed it. When you had people on base, they had hits.
Yeah. If Mike were to go to LSU, would he take Laff and Clem with him? No, I mean, hardly ever do you take a full staff with you somewhere else. So, I mean, obviously I would, and again, it doesn't sound like Mike's going to LSU, but in a hypothetical, no, I would not anticipate that. I would anticipate, you don't know, look, I mean, is Schlossnagle interested in Clement? He's been at A&M before. He's an A&M guy. He would definitely recruit well in that area. He's looking for a recruiting coordinator. Who comes to Ole Miss? Does Carl get a look from that potentially? I mean, I don't know. So no, I would be stunned if, frankly, any coach took their whole staff with them somewhere like that. That just you don't see that very often. Is a thing. So no, I would say no. How much factors the size of the park going to play offensively for Ole Miss? Are they too home run reliant? And it will show. Are they able to hit doubles and triples in the gap? Will Graham and Leatherwood have big weekends because of right field? Potentially. Look, it's a huge park, but the ball's going to carry out there. It's going to go. So I do think it brings more doubles and triples into play just because the ball gets over guys' heads. It's not even necessarily home runs. It's going to play like Hoover, I think. I think it's Hoover-ish. I mean, yeah, look, it's not a bandbox like Swayze can be at times, but it's not going to play Omaha with the wind blowing in where you can't it's going to play. Hoover this year was a very big ballpark and the ball did carry. That's what it's going to be. I mean, the ball's going to carry and it's a lot of ground to cover. Probably a good thing that from an outfield standpoint they played a few games in Hoover because I think they're going to have to cover ground like that out there a little bit. I mean, it's different. Look, I mean, the park's built for Arizona. Don't get me wrong. They hit a lot of doubles. They hit some home runs, but they really slug you with extra base hits and taking extra bases on hits. That's kind of what they do offensively. So 2 out of 3. Let's go win a couple baseball games.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a 3-game series.
The weather might have a little impact. The park might have a little impact, but at the end of the day, just go win 2 games. Whatever that looks like. That's the way to do it.
Yep.
With the summer here and the fall quickly approaching, should we expect any transfer news for football soon-ish?
It's a great question, and I don't know. I would think they're trying to get a couple of things done. They still have plenty of time. You'd like to get those guys on campus in July. But even if you didn't do it until August, you probably could still make that work. So, I mean, Jaquez Jones won't be in Lexington until probably July, so they'll be fine. I would assume so, yes.
I mean, frankly, we're still learning on so much of this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're just now getting to the place where we have much communication with the staff at all, I mean, we don't know them. They don't know us, so it's kind of hard to break a lot of news right now without knowing, and they might not know.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone who is out there in the transfer portal who is impactful, or more likely, someone who's not in the transfer portal that you're tampering with, other people are tampering with him too.
Yes, that is a fact. Podcast brought to you in part by Northeast Spark, NESPARC.com. They have 2 packages, the Ignite, the 100 Mbps, or the Blaze, the 1 gig that powers the Clark Ford studio. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband, 662-238-3159. Phone service available as well as parental controls, network security, and more. So find out if it's in your area. It's going up more places every single day here locally in Oxford. 662-238-3159.
Also brought to you by Pinnacle. They're based in Madison, Mississippi. They're also home to the Pinnacle Trust 401k Advisory Services team. Get in touch with them, and they'll conduct a complimentary, no-obligation benchmarking and analysis of your current 401k plan. Mention that you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast, and you can get 10% off your first year's fees. Also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated. If you're thinking about traveling this summer, things opening up more and more, you want to take advantage of that, or maybe you're booking something for the holidays, or maybe you're wanting to take advantage of 2021 deals for 2022. You can do all of that by getting in touch with John. Just give him some parameters and a budget. He'll give you options. And no, you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off their first book trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. We're also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan's the place to go. They've got a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles, great lease deals as well. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. And we're brought to you by Oxford University Bank, OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB is home to Kasasa. It's the absolute best cash checking account. And with Kasasa, OUB will pay customers 2.5% interest on their balances up to $50,000 and refund ATM fees nationwide. OUB also offers online bill pay and mobile check deposit using its online app. To learn more, go to Live Oxford, bankoxford.com, or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured.
So continuing on with your questions, money being no object and profession notwithstanding, pick one place to live in the following regions: West Coast and Northeast.
West Coast,
Carmel area.
Carmel,
yeah,
all day.
Come on. That's not even a question.
Northeast.
I mean, are we doing the city thing?
Probably not. No, give me like coastal Maine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll make that work.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I could find a way to be happy at like Cape Cod somehow. Like, well,
I would think
it'd be all right.
It'd be okay.
All the money in the world, yeah, I'm sure something's all right out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm like, hey, give me a penthouse at Central Park or something like that.
No.
I
mean, if money's no object, just let me go to Carmel. I'm good.
That's the answer.
I'm fine.
I mean, dude,
all day.
You get the weather.
You kind of get the seasons each day.
You do. You need a little light jacket at night, potentially.
Yeah. Wake up, it's a little cool when you have your coffee. Then it gets warm. You go for your little jog on the beach. Have your glass of wine. You might need a little pullover.
Pretty perfect.
I can.
It's pretty perfect.
I could function just fine.
You could play crap golf if you wanted to.
Oh,
I mean,
I'd probably, if I have all the money.
At that point, you're like, hey, let's get lessons. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. Let's go play.
Why not?
I'd probably play every day at that point.
Yeah. Scenery's good.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a no-brainer.
If I hit one in
who answers that and goes, I want to live in the middle of L.A.? Like, you're a psychopath.
Yeah, no, you're nuts. No, I've got all the money I want.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Come on. That's easy.
Yeah. Brad Henderson mentioned on the broadcast a few weeks ago, and you've mentioned it with the Pitch Lab, that Ole Miss baseball does use a lot of analytics when it comes to pitching, development, what pitches to call, when, etc. This makes it even more surprising we don't shift even occasionally. Has anyone asked Bianco about the lack of shifting more teams seem to be doing at the college level? A couple of years ago, and we kind of just let that answer stand, but it's something I need to hit on in the postseason. We'll dive into that and kind of why he's managed the way he has in some ways.
Because they don't shift at all, really, do they?
Literally hardly ever. Yeah, no. So, yeah, it's a very valid question. It's something that should have been broached, and it'll give me a task for as soon as this thing's over. I'll dive into that and look at numbers and kind of who does what and different things. That's no problem. That's easy enough. Is Knox LaPlacer still alive? Is he on the team? He is. Hayden Dunhurst is catching every single game, but Knox is around. At this point of the season, Mike is putting in who he trusts and who is the best person for the job at this moment. Yeah. I told Chris and Barry Allen on that show the other day, I do think it's affected Hayden's offense. I think he's tired. I think the legs are a little exhausted. I think that it's affected him a little from an offensive production, what he's had to do defensively, because the kid's called like 60-something games this season. I mean, it's been almost every single day. I mean, Knox has barely played. I think Calvin Harris caught one midweek game, but otherwise it's been Hayden back there every day. That can't be overstated.
This is the time of year. You're not giving somebody a day off for the travel day.
No, gotta go.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of is what it is. But yeah, if you told me his batting average is 40 points lower because he catches every day, I'd buy it.
Sure.
100% of the time.
Sure.
I don't think that's even a doubt.
You get beat up back there, wear and tear, and sure.
Again, don't think Mike's going anywhere at this point, but if he leaves, would Lafferty go with him? If we hired Dan or Cliff, would Lafferty stay? I feel decent that Lafferty would stay if Cliff were hired. I don't know about
kind of tight.
A little tight, yeah. I don't know what Dan would do if he did want to get out of Louisville and took the Ole Miss job. I have absolutely no idea what his coaching staff would resemble. None. I talk to Dan like twice a year. He's not giving me his inner thoughts on coaching staff, so I have no idea what he might be thinking or not thinking at this point.
Well, he's done. You call him right now and just ask.
And just dial into the answers. We'll
just
ask him
call
on
him
the
up.
show.
Say, welcome into the show, Dan.
Yeah.
That would go over really well.
Oh, God, help us. So, yeah.
What are the Braves going to do with Freddie Freeman? Are they going to re-sign him or letting him walk? What are they doing?
They have to sign him. They have to sign him. If you think you're in your window, you have to re-sign Freddie Freeman.
I would think.
Yeah, come on. There's rumors in Denton that North Texas is going to have a baseball program here shortly. Do you think that would hurt DBU, or do you think SMU could hurt the DBU program? I actually got an email from someone this morning who played at Dallas Baptist that I know, who said that because of the way the programs are structured, did not think SMU would actually impact them at all. I'll take their word for it far more than myself. I asked a couple people last night, too, about Dan Hefner, the head coach at Dallas Baptist, has been there forever, and they said that it's a really good fit for him. He's incredibly faith-based, and that there are probably some programs that he is more willing to go to than others. So that was one of the reasons that maybe he has not just jumped around all over the place.
If he's happy someplace, I mean.
Probably making decent money.
Sure.
I'm curious what their finances look like, because baseball is the only sport in that school that's D1. So it's a little weird. They're the only D1 sport. Everybody else is D2 at Dallas Baptist. So I have a hard time believing there's a ton of revenue flowing through.
Who do they play?
I don't know what conference they're in.
No, is it Old Dominion this weekend?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In Columbia, South Carolina. Instead of Fort Worth, Texas.
That's right.
Yes.
We talked about that.
Instead of, I mean, seriously, like 2 blocks down the road, or we're going to fly to Columbia and play. And it's not like Norwich, Virginia. I mean, like,
I feel sorry for
it's
South
not like
Carolina's
Norfolk, Virginia
athletic.
is like right down the road from Columbia. I mean,
there are people that had vacations planned.
Oh, in Columbia?
Yeah, that are like having to scramble.
For Dallas Baptist.
Yeah.
I've heard you say there's a strong possibility Ole Miss gets its entire starting lineup back next year. Who are the few with the potential to go after getting drafted? I mean, Kevin Graham's the one that sticks out. Yeah, somebody could make an offer where Kevin goes on.
Sure.
I mean, power-hitting kid who's plays multiple positions and has done it over multiple periods of time, and frankly has lit up left-handed pitching this year. He's completely annihilated that thought process that he couldn't hit left-handers. So if you told me somebody made Kevin an offer that he had to think about, I'll go there. Look, there's no guarantee Tim Oko's coming back. He's got to get surgery. I don't know what his future looks like. I just know there's a possibility that he comes back.
God, you'd be hard-pressed to top this.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
They win 2 more games, it'd be pretty easy to go, hey, adios on this mark. Hayden Dunhurst isn't draft eligible. Peyton Chatney is, but I have a hard time believing he would get drafted high enough to do anything.
I wouldn't think.
I think Justin Bench is back. Hell of a baseball player, but not prospect-wise. I have a hard time making that make sense. No, I mean, I think they have a dang good shot at getting the majority of this lineup back, or getting the whole lineup back. I mean, Gonzalez is a freshman. He was named a first-team freshman All-American yesterday. I saw that from collegiate baseball. The stats are incredibly good. I mean, he led the SEC in hits through the SEC tournament at least.
Well, he's one of those guys that just pops off the screen. I mean, I saw him for the first time in Texas and was like, whoa.
From the very beginning, it looked like professional at-bats he was putting together. It was just...
He hit a little bit of a freshman wall at one point. But then
Jay Johnson, the head coach at Arizona, he mentioned Gonzalez and Diamond as guys they recruited this morning in his press conference. He said that he was very well versed in those because of recruiting them when they were there.
He didn't challenge Ole Miss to a fight or anything the way the Arizona State coach did back in the day.
There was a little history with that back in the day, and it got testy from the beginning, because that was in the heyday of, hey, you don't recruit my kids, and Arizona State basically flipped Kyle Rowling to Arizona State from Ole Miss, and tempers were hot that whole weekend. Now, that was. I'd love to get Mike's unedited version of what he remembers saying to Pat Murphy across the field that day, because he definitely confronted his weight and a few other things as he went across the field with a lot of expletives. It was
oh really?
Oh yeah.
He said something about Murphy's weight.
Oh yeah, he called him several names. Yeah. It was rough because.
And Murphy seems like the type of guy who probably would tell you that he wasn't fat.
Well, Pat Murphy thinks he's perfect at everything. That's Pat. Isn't he coaching like the Royals AAA now? Or is he actually back in the bigs? He's like with the Padres or something, right?
Yeah, he was in the bigs for a little while.
Right.
I'm not sure.
He's had a weird route on where all he's been. Yeah, like because when the main melee happened, there was only one Arizona State kid. It was actually Eric Sogard who played in the major leagues. He was in between like 4 Ole Miss dudes, and then like there was like 2 Ole Miss coaches and Murphy, and I was like, that dude needs to get out of there. That's not going to be a good spot between those 3 kind of dudes at that moment. And like Murphy comes out and like Mike runs across the field and somebody's trying to grab Mike, and then Kyle Bunn comes out. It was a mess for a few minutes there. Somebody's like throwing a bat. I mean,
I remember watching that game. I was in Spanish Fort.
Yeah.
Because I was flipping between that game and there was a Cubs-Braves game when Sammy Sosa was hitting a bunch of home runs or something. I remember that night kind of vividly.
Yeah, there was some certain words used in the deal, and then Murphy, like, he had no couth in any way. Like, I remember in the press conference he was mad that Mike Leake did not, pitching for Arizona State at that point.
Oh yeah, former Reds pitcher.
Yeah, he was mad that Mike Leake had not outrun Jordan Henry to first base, which is physically impossible for Mike Leake.
Yeah.
And at one point, Murphy goes on this big rant about how he wished he had a taser and he would have tased Leake right there on the field. And it was like, I don't know if you should say that. That feels wrong. I'm just saying.
He's the Brewers bench coach now.
Okay, there you go. I knew he was in the major leagues for a little while, but I didn't know what he was doing.
Milwaukee would hire that guy.
Well, I don't know how Ole Miss would have actually won another game in that series. They kind of blew game 1. They had a lead in the 9th.
Yeah, I remember that.
Ole Miss had very little bullpen. It was a coin flip on whether to go to Cody Satterwhite or leave Will Klein in. He leaves Will in. He gives up the hits. They end up losing. And then they bashed around Lance Lynn pretty good the next day. I think it was 7-0, 7-1, something like that was the final score the next day. That was the weakest of Ole Miss's super regional teams in that run, and that was a damn good Arizona State team on the other side. That was Brett Wallace and Sogard and Rowling and Petey Paramore. There was a lot of dudes on that team.
Sogard's still in the bigs today.
Oh yeah, no, they were. I mean, they hit and hit and hit and hit. I mean, for Ole Miss, I guess Lance is the only one still kicking from that team. I guess because Kozart's done now.
Yeah, so it's probably Lance and Sogard are the 2 that are still playing.
Yeah, I think so. And Lance has found like an 8th gear and has become another all-star. So
that's amazing what he's done.
Nothing but fastballs. We're going to throw fastballs at you and fastballs at you and fastballs at you.
And I guess he just got in better shape a little bit.
He throws harder. Well, yeah, Lance was never like a fan of like the 2-mile run back in the day. He was not.
But he's not. I mean, you don't look at him now and go,
he's not svelte.
No, but he looks like he's gotten a little stronger.
Yeah.
He's throwing the hell out of it with the White Sox.
He throws with an edge, too.
Yeah, he plays with more edge today than he ever did.
I mean, he is a damn bear out there. I mean, it's yeah.
Yeah, no, he's funny. I've watched the White Sox a good bit.
Have you really?
Yeah. He's a character. That's a team full of characters.
Oh God. Let's see. I don't think Neil would go to Omaha with Horka and Steve and the boys.
What's in it for me?
You're presented with an opportunity to live wherever he wants, everything fully paid off, house, vehicles, kids, college, in addition to collecting $5,000 per week for the rest of your life.
Whoa.
The catch.
Okay.
He has to spend the entirety of Omaha, so 14 nights.
Okay.
With Horka, Steve, and the boys, share a hotel room, same vehicle transport, and have every meal together. Okay. And rub mayo all over. Oh, no. Stop. We're going to stick there.
Have to rub mayo on them?
Yeah, I'm stopping the sentiments.
I mean, look, I love money, and it's my singular motivation, but I don't know that I love it that much.
You don't think that's the...
I was at least considering until you got to the last part.
I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. I'll take my chances on what I got. We'll see
I'm just going to, I figured it out to this point.
More likely for 2021, 2022, Ole Miss football makes the New Year's Six. Basketball makes the NCAA tournament. Those are not the same thing, but but you're thinking about it. It's got to be the tournament, right? Are you ready to go top 12?
No, it's the NCAA tournament. I had to just kind of think for a minute. Yeah,
because they would have to go. You'd have to go 9-3 and get really lucky. What with the way standings and things fell and stuff.
You'd have to go 9-3. It'd have to be a really good 3, and you'd have to have a ton of help at the top of the league.
Yeah,
like A&M and Alabama. Alabama would have to be 13-0. A&M 11-1,
and 3 teams get in.
Yeah, and they both made the playoff, and
Well, because, I mean, when Ole Miss went to the Peach Bowl, Alabama was in the playoff and State was in the Orange Bowl. And then in the Sugar Bowl year, they went to the Sugar Bowl because Florida fell below them in the standings after losing to Alabama in the SEC championship game.
As flawed as Ole Miss basketball was last year, they were probably a win short, maybe 2 wins, but probably just 1 win short. Had they beaten LSU in the tournament, they probably were in. So, yeah.
How fast was Eddie Harris's fastball? That dude was so old, there's no way he cracked 50. Well, no, but he had a lot of movement. He had Vaseline and the whole deal all over.
He may have been ahead of his time,
he was definitely ahead of his time.
Considering where we are today.
Hey, a lot of pitchers aren't denying it.
Well, how can you deny it? We see it.
I mean, several of the pitchers are going, hey, they're with today's home runs and stuff, it makes it even a little bit. I mean.
Well, and there's some hitters that are like, look, I want him to have a good grip. As hard as these guys throw, I want him to know where it's going.
Yeah. True or false? Jerry Neely has played his last baseball game as an Ole Miss Rebel. I think that's true. Yeah.
True.
I do. I believe that's true. Not a winner of says Chase. How do you think Phil will do in the U.S. Open? Probably not overly well.
Has he come down from his
party
yet?
I have a hard time believing he's going to be completely locked into this with the ability. I know it's the one he doesn't have yet, but he had 6 opportunities and he finished second and 6 times. Like, it's probably over.
It is house money this time.
Sure.
But it's always.
I mean, look, he hits the ball a long way. His short game is still really good. It hasn't fallen off like most guys that cross over 50. He's putted pretty well, but the ball striking's not. I mean, that's hard to believe he can go win a U.S. Open right now. Because I know Kiowa was a little different test, but it's still, depending on setup, is not Torrey Pines when they set it up for a U.S. Open. That's a little bit of a different animal there. Brooks or Bryson, who you got in a fight, which is the bigger douchebag, because we all know they're both kind of douchebags, just in different ways, right? They both are in on the joke because they're both making a ton of money with this new player impact program that the PGA Tour is doing, where the PGA Tour gives a pool of $40 million to the top 10 movers and shakers in a year. They're going to the bank. They both know what they're doing. One of them yesterday, I forget which one because it kind of runs together, pointed out and admitted that it was good for the game, I believe was how it was.
When you see them kind of going at each other on Twitter, you know that this is pro wrestling now. And I don't blame them a bit, by the way.
I don't know why I think this, because, yes, it's complete and utter crap in so many ways of what he does. I think I'm almost like ashamed to admit it. I think I'm more of a Bryson guy than a Brooks guy. There's some weird I'm tired. I get really annoyed by he went to SMU. Well, that doesn't make him a rocket scientist. A lot of people go to SMU that are not mechanical engineers. Like, he's not stupid.
Right. Not everybody who goes to Stanford is a genius.
That's my point. Like, you don't hear David Price go, I went to Vanderbilt. Well, okay, awesome. Like, congratulations. But he's just kind of a doofus, though, in a way that's like, okay, fine. I mean, look, give him credit. The dude transformed his body and found a way that he believes helps his career.
Yeah.
Okay, he put the work in. Fine.
Sure.
Like, is it a little weird, a little stupid? Sure. But he won a U.S. Open. He won it. Got a major.
Yeah.
He knows his body's probably not going to last like this for 30 years. I don't know that he wants it to. I'm going to take my hacks for 10 years and see where I'm at.
Yeah.
And at that point, if I need to lose weight and do it a different way, maybe we do that.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it's get as strong as I can and hit the ball as far as I damn can.
A pitcher who's riding a fastball. Until when the fastball goes away, he'll figure out whether he can pitch or not.
Mm-hmm. What is my pitching rotation of the entire Mike Bianco era? Weekend starters, bullpen, closer. I mean, I'm not going through like a full bullpen. Pomeranz, Nikhazy. It's Lynn or Wall. I know Lance is obviously the major leaguer, but Bobby was just as good in college. I'll go either way there. Because of the way that Taylor can beat you in multiple ways, I've got a question later on about why is he not considered a starter. It's because they don't trust anybody else to close the game. But he throws 4 pitches, and I don't know if that's all the time necessary as a closer. But when you've got a mid-90s fastball and you can throw a changeup and you can throw a slider and you can throw a curveball, it gives you so many ways to overcome if something's not working that day. And I think that makes Taylor so much more consistent. I would Scott Biddle's my closer, but Taylor's in the conversation at that point, for sure. And then, bullpen, I'm going to grab the White Shorts of the world. I'm going to grab Jake Morgan. I'm going to grab guys that don't walk anybody and some pretty big arms there. But it's Biddle as the closer if I've got to do that. That's not peak Biddle is my guy over anybody else at that point. But no, look, Nikhazy has worked his way into that rotation though from that conversation.
Peak Biddle for about 4 weeks was the best pitcher that maybe college baseball's ever seen.
Yeah, he was a son of a gun there for a little while. There's no doubt about that. Podcast brought to you in part by Visit Oxford. Visit oxfordms.com. The Summer Sunset Series continuing Sunday night in the Grove. I believe 5:30 is the start time for that. Live music back in the Grove this year after doing it elsewhere last year. And then check the events page for plenty more going on this week and every week there with Visit Oxford. The Double-Decker Bus Tours will be back in the fall and much more. So, again, visit oxfordms.com/events.
We're also brought to you by Whitney McNutt, Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors, serving you for all your real estate needs in Oxford and Tupelo. She sells condos, land, commercial, residential, family homes. 662-567-2573 or 662-842-3844. Also brought to you by Alpha Specialties, located at 1670 Highway 80 in Pearl, Mississippi. It's your trailer-specific professional. If you want to haul it, they can call it. It's the premium trailer dealership in Mississippi. They've got Load Trail. They also have Hallmark cargo trailers. They can work with third parties to have game day trailers and concession trailers built as well. They have a full selection of trailer parts and accessories, hitches, winches, straps, and more. They also do all types of truck accessories, and listeners can get 10% off a yearly trailer service and inspection at their full-service shop. alphaofms.com or 601-932-9798. And we're brought to you by Blue Delta Jeans. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best-fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand-tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi. One size fits one at BlueDeltaJeans.com. Father's Day, a week from this coming Sunday, would make a great Father's Day gift. BlueDeltaJeans.com. You can purchase a gift card that can be redeemed in person or online, or you can contact the folks at Blue Delta, schedule an in-person fitting for the dad in your life. Don't forget to use the code Rebel Grove. That's one word, all lowercase, Rebel Grove, online or in person for 10% off your Blue Delta jeans. And we're brought to you by The Rogue. It's your destination for fine men's clothing. Their stylist hand-select pieces from top designers, from work to lifestyle to nightlife. Just the perfect something for everyone at The Rogue. All the best items from Peter Millar, Martin Dingman, Jack Victor, Halsey, True Grit, Duckhead, and more at The Rogue. 4450 I-55 North in Jackson or therogue.com.
Ginger asking where Doug Nikhazy may get drafted this summer in July. I'm gonna go second to third round, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I'll say late second.
Yeah, I had a scout tell me thought it would be somewhere between pick 70 and 90. He didn't know off the top of his head what round that was, but somewhere in there, 70 to 90 for Doug. I mean, look, dude just gets outs, but there are some things that they don't like from a projection standpoint. So it'd be curious, but at the end of the day, at that spot, that makes all the sense in the world when you get somebody who probably will at least pitch to some degree in the major leagues. Is Jerry Maguire one of the best or one of the worst sports movies of all time?
Best.
It's not a sports movie. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's simply a premise for a romantic comedy.
Okay.
Or even a little drama. It's not really a comedy.
Sure. Very difficult to simulate a football movie because football is such a difficult sport to simulate on screen.
I guess my point is, can it be a great sports movie if it's not really about sports?
No. But like most sports movies are not really about sports, if you think about it.
Yeah. Or not good ones, at least.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah, come on. What's more interesting, the sport or the people playing the sport?
But it's a good movie. It's a really good movie.
It's
a little
good.
cheesy at times, but it's good.
Yeah,
it's
sure, it's fine.
I mean, it's very cheesy at times, actually.
Yeah, but you walk out generally pleased that you watched it.
Believability, where on 1 to 10? Other than the fact that he got back to L.A. by the time they didn't go home.
I mean, 2. It's a movie.
From what standpoint? That he would be like that?
Well, I mean, just
whoa.
It's the whole thing that he break away from the agency and the girl would
because
come
he had a
with
crisis
him.
of fate.
Yeah, the girl would come with him and would become his love interest. And
you don't think she'd come with him?
No.
That she'd believe in him enough because she read the memo, even though it wasn't a memo?
No.
You don't think so? They took the fish with them?
Just the whole thing was just cheesy, but it was fine. It was entertaining. You felt good about it. You were glad they ended up together.
I mean, the most realistic thing is that wide receivers are prima donna and difficult to deal with.
That part was
absolutely
true. Yes.
Yeah, Rod Gilmore. Okay, sure, we'll buy that part.
Yeah, Ginger points out that the divorce group met at 1 a.m. Yeah, I mean,
no, it's my biggest gripe with this thing. He got back in time for everyone to still be at the house.
It should have been a Sunday noon game. You could have pulled it off. You could have pulled it off. It could have even.
They made it Monday Night Football.
Yeah, you could have even done the Sunday afternoon window, and on the West Coast, it would have been a 1:25 kick, and you could have pulled that off.
Sure, he's back by 8:30.
It would have been a 9 o'clock meeting, which is a little late, but sure. But 1 a.m. Give me a break.
Because we've done this on this podcast. He wouldn't have even gotten in the air until.
Well, and before that, he hadn't struck it rich, so it wasn't like he was.
The Lear wasn't out on the runway.
He wasn't Jimmy Sexton yet.
He did all that media. He stayed with Rod, and then he got on the plane, and then he had to get back home. And she didn't live right next to LAX.
No, so it takes you a minimum of 30 minutes to get out of LAX, and then you got to get in a car, and come on, stop.
Here's one for you. If JFK had not taken that trip to Dallas, where would we be as a country today? Anywhere significantly different or no?
Well, he would be viewed differently. He would not be the legendary president that he is today.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
He might lose in 64.
You think so? Now that.
There's a reason he was campaigning in November of 63. It was tenuous.
How does it change? Does it change the country's fabric as far as just more of a society type based thing in any way?
Well, I mean, that was the beginning of the 60s, and by the end of the 60s with Martin Luther King Jr. and RFK and Vietnam and all, the first big question that you would have to ask is how, if at all, is Vietnam different if JFK is not killed? Because it's one of the big conspiracy theories comes from the American war machine wanted him dead so that they would go to war. And, there's a school of thought that he would have pulled out of it. His presidency had not been a raging success. I mean, he was fumbling the civil rights stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's a great question. I don't know.
It's a deep question.
There's a lot there.
Could be there.
Yeah. And you could do that with a lot of things.
I mean, we, off the top of our head, are not.
Well, I mean, like one of the ones, if Hinckley kills Reagan in March of 81.
That's in 81.
Yeah. I mean,
so early on before it.
Reagan had been in office 2 months. Is the world different? That's the one that's still kind of hard to believe. It's only been 18 years after Kennedy, and they have a Secret Service failure of that magnitude right there. Hinckley misses him by millimeters. Hinckley got a clean look at him, up close.
Mm-hmm. To the point of shouldn't have missed in a way. I
wonder what that staff meeting was like the next day.
Is that our last closest threat?
That we're aware of, sure.
Well, right, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So they've
where public shots have been fired.
So it tells you that they've cracked down and done a better job of protecting presidents. I mean, think of how polarizing Bush 43 was, how many threats there probably were on Obama, how polarizing Trump was.
Sure.
And we never saw anything like along the lines of an assassination.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Ginger, there is a Stephen King novel about the JFK thing. It's 11/22/63.
That's correct.
It's actually worth reading. It's really good.
It is very good. Yeah.
Really good. It's much better than the TV series that was done.
Oh, it was like Hulu or whatever.
Yeah, and it was good, but the book was much better.
That's right. I completely forgot about that, the series. I don't think I finished the series. I feel like I watched an episode or something. And
I finished it, and it was fine, but it was nowhere near as good as the book.
Yeah.
The book was terrific.
All the questions we got, but you had to get one player's stats for the weekend. It'd be Derek Diamond, right? You want to know what he did tomorrow night? Or you got somebody else?
I'm trying to think if there's somebody that I'm just missing.
I mean, it would be easy to want to know Broadway's because did he pitch or not, or what's going on?
How many times did he pitch and how much did he pitch? That might tell me a lot.
That's true because like Derek going 5 innings and allowing 2 runs doesn't tell us anything.
No, and if you have to use Broadway for 4 on Friday, don't you at that point sacrifice Saturday? You go into Saturday and go free shot, let's see what happens. But Sunday I'm trying to get Taylor fresh again.
Because I need to go Doug Taylor Sunday.
Yeah. The more I think about it, the more I think if Ole Miss wins Friday, Doug does not pitch Saturday.
Yeah.
We give you a total opportunity to go, hey, guys, loose, man, free shot. We've got
our guys are going tomorrow. We're
our
good.
Insurance policy's paid for, and we've got it on Sunday. We get to exercise it if we need to.
Yeah. Just go play.
Go play. See what happens.
And see if you can go win a 13-10 game. And
the pressure would clearly be on
Arizona
at that point. At home, and Nikhazy's looming.
Yeah.
You're tight. Probably a little sense of, oh, God, what have we done?
Mm-hmm. Oh, look, there's massive pressure on Arizona tomorrow.
I might even want to see like benches stats.
See what kind of offensive day it was, period.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, I almost would be inclined to like
1 for 1 with 3 hit by pitches. That's what Justin does. But
I mean, does McCants get hot again? Does he stay cold? I mean, there'd be some things like I think
McCants needed a reset this week. He was hitting a freshman mental wall the last few weeks where he's just not playing well, making bad decisions.
He might benefit getting away from
the pressure cooker a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Hoover was kind of Oxford East.
It was. Yeah.
And then
the regional
Swayze was, I don't want to get into it because people get mad, but it was different. It looked different on TV than some of the other venues. It just did.
Yeah.
This might, I don't know. But probably the answer would be Diamond.
Yeah.
Because if you showed me Diamond's line and it says 2 1/3, 5 runs, I'm like, oh.
Well, Friday went south. And
probably didn't work out. And if you show me his thing and it goes 7 innings, 2 runs.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're cooking with gas a little bit now.
They might have pulled this off.
Yeah. So, anyway. All right, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Central Time. First pitch for the Rebels and the Wildcats. Coverage at Rebel Grove for that one. Again, tons of stuff on the site and with all our podcasts throughout the week as well. So lock in with those, and we will talk to you again very soon. Take care. Have a good day. Talk to you then.